What is going on, guys? Today we've got a comparison for you. We've got these two phones. So we've got the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8T and the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9S. Now, some of you may know these are extremely similar phones, just the 8T was released before the 9S, quite a long time before, so some would say this is the sort of predecessor to the 8T with some slightly updated features. So we thought we'd do a comparison and say whether or not, it's worth the upgrade or whether or not it's worth spending that little bit more to get the more modern version. So, we're going to jump straight into it. We have already unboxed the 9S previously. If you want to see that, that'll be linked in the description below where you can check that out. This is a fresh box for the 8T, however, so we'll have to quickly unwrap that. As many of you know, Xiaomi have basically just been killing it right now, and they've got some pretty incredible cameras on their devices. So I'm really looking forward to doing a full comparison with these two devices and seeing, what they can do and whether or not it's worth for you to make that step upgrade. So I'm going to take both of these out of their boxes now, set them up so they're all ready, and I'll get back to you in a second. So here they are. We've got them both here. I've got the 9S in my right hand and I've got the 8T in my left hand. You see the colors are pretty good on there. I've got already managed to get some fingerprints all over them though. Hopefully we get some better shots for you to see them. The colors look great on them, and you can see they both have a quad camera setup, but they're just sort of in a different form. They both have that 48 megapixel camera and they have that AI camera as well, so very similar in that sense. I believe the micro lens on the 9S is slightly better though. It's got 5 megapixel compared to a 2 megapixel on the 8T. That is genuinely the only difference, other than more updated and more modern sensors on the 9S. It's got sort of a Mark II Samsung sensor compared to a Mark 1 one on the 8T. We will do a camera test here so you can have a little look at the differences and tell, if you can see the differences there, let us know. There isn't a massive difference, but we'll do it anyway, so here it is. So there's the camera there. As I said, there wasn't a ginormous difference, but the actual design of the phone, they are kind of have a similar layout, but they are very different in the same thing. If I switch these on real quick, you'll be able to see screen-wise the difference. If you just look at this home screen, I know I've got different setups here. I'll just pull the brightness up for you. You'll see that the cameras are in a similar position. If I just go onto Google. See, the cameras are in the same position, but just on the 8T, they have that sort of bit that swoops down, whereas the one on the 9S is actually inside the display. And we have gone for a different layout, just so you can see, it's kind of more obvious. It's got a chin on the 8T here, where it says Redmi. On the 9S all screen. The display is obviously a lot larger on the 9S compared to the 8T, and the phones are a different size, as you can see, the 9S being the bigger model. So screen wise, the 9S is bigger, and it has that in-display punch hole camera compared to the 8T, which has that sort of bubble that comes down and a chin on the bottom. But yeah, that's the display. Moving on, the speakers at the top for your calls are in the same place, so they're both obviously in the same place. On the bottoms of the phones, both of them still have that headphone jack. They have both support USB-C. They have their little microphones on the bottom there for your calls, and you've got your speakers there. So it's the same story there. On the right hand side of the device, you actually have a thumbprint scanner on the 9S with no thumbprint scanner on the 8T, because the scanner for the 8T is actually on the back of the phone here in the middle. It's actually a fingerprint scanner compared to the side mounted one on the 9S. Now, I prefer the side mounted ones. I think it feels more normal, and also for a phone of this size, which is slightly bigger than the 8T, I think it just fits better. On the other side, you've just got your SIM card trays there, so very similar. Both have that dual SIM SIM setup, and that micro SD expansions, very similar in that sense, and both support the dual SIM setup. That's the outside of the phone, sort of the externals. Moving on to the internals, the 8T has a Snapdragon 665 compared to the 9S's 720G, so obviously the 9S is geared more towards that gaming side with that high performance. That's not to say the 8T doesn't have very good gaming, and you'll see that in a minute. We'll actually include a clip of us gaming now, just so you can see that key difference. If you decide to pick up the 64GB storage version, the RAMs will be the same. They'll both have that 4GB of RAM, so there would be very little difference there performance-wise, just based off the RAM. As a lot of you are asking, the 9S actually does have a notification light. It is hidden in this speaker at the top here. It is only white color and it will only flash white. You can't customize the color, but the 9S does have a notification light, whereas the 8T does not. Now, a lot of you requested that we do an AnTuTu test on these devices, so we will do an AnTuTu test on the 8T and the 9S, and we'll show you the difference right now. So here we go. I'm going to allow all these. I haven't yet opened AnTuTu, and then we're going to click start testing, and we'll run a time lapse, and we'll see you at the end of it. So here's the results, guys. You can analyze that however you want. Something to note, the 9S version we do have is a 6GB in RAM, so it was always going to be a little bit better, but obviously this was just a comparison between these two models, and the 8T scored an 88,000 and the 9S scored a 163,000. So you can see there, the 9S won, if you want to say, but it got a higher score, and you can see all these image classifications and these object detections. If anybody wants to let us know how well these did, please let us know in the comments below. We'll be interested to see, because we're not 100% sure how this all translates, as we're fairly new to this sort of AnTuTu testing thing anyway. But yeah, there's the AnTuTu test you guys were asking for. Thank you guys for watching our video. If you like this style of video, please let us know, and we'll do some more comparisons in the future. If there's any comparisons you particularly want to see, please let us know in the comments below, and we'll be sure to do that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.